Yeah, so as I say, the name of the group is Emmet Scanlan and What's a Good Thought. We're from Galway, and we're filming this in Sheen, which is the birthplace of the band, so to speak. That's where I dragged all the other members over the bar to join the band. And this song that I'm going to play is called Sweet Lady Life. I wrote it about 4 years ago, I think, at this stage. I was over in America at the time. I was an immigrant, yeah, it's about the beauty in mistakes, about how people are kind of really tough on themselves at times, thinking, you know, when they kind of mess things up or whatever, that, you know, they're just very, very hard on themselves. And I suppose it's from somebody else's perspective, it's the beauty, seeing the beauty in the mistakes that they make, yeah. By the way, it's very, very early in the morning, so that's why my brain is, the kind of wires are loose. Sweet
Thank you.
That last song that I wrote, or that I played there, Sweet Lady Life, and the next one that I'm going to play, the two of them, I suppose, I wrote at a time when I came to college in Galway 10 years ago last September, so I'm getting old. And I was here for 4 years, and I was leading a very different life to the one that I'm leading now. I prefer it now, you know, but things were great at the time. I was in college, and you know, you were kind of basically going to the cheapest places you could to go for a drink or whatever, you know, and just trying to fit in with everybody in college and stuff like that. And it's, you know, but at the end of the 4 years in college, I kind of, you know, because when you're in college, you don't really think about what you're doing, because it's, to some extent, it's being put in front of you, like, you know, you're just doing your course, you're learning what needs to be learned, and you're cramming at the very last second to get the exam. So at the end of the 4 years, as I say, I hadn't a clue what I was going to do, and I started to get really kind of worried about it, because there had always, up until that point, there had been structure. You know, you were in school, you were in college, you went away for the summer, but it was all, you know, whereas I found myself kind of getting to a point where, well, it's up to yourself now, and I had a science degree and I hadn't a clue what I was going to do with it, and I also had my guitar, and I was kind of just always kind of playing for fun, never really kind of taking it seriously. And a friend of mine just kind of, you know, said, we were over, as I said, that's when I wrote Sweet Lady Life, we were over in Cape Cod in America, and he just kind of, you know, he could see, like, I spent a summer, as I say, wandering around. I was just, for the first time in my life, I was kind of dazed, where I actually phoned, you know, the place that I worked and said I had a headache, so I couldn't move into work. No, I've never done that before in my life, but I just didn't really want to face into things, because the way I saw it was, if I don't face reality or whatever, or if I don't keep moving on, then nothing is going to move on. But of course it's silly, because everything goes on anyway, with or without you. Like,